The U.S. Justice Department is currently experiencing significant upheaval, marked by a wave of firings and departures of U.S. attorneys and other key personnel. This situation has generated widespread concern and controversy, particularly given the department's role in upholding the rule of law and its traditional independence from overt political influence. U.S. attorneys serve as the chief federal law enforcement officers in their respective judicial districts, prosecuting federal crimes, representing the U.S. in civil cases, and collecting debts owed to the federal government. They are presidential appointees, subject to Senate confirmation, and typically serve at the pleasure of the president. While it's common for a new administration to replace the previous administration's appointees, the current situation is notable for its scale and the specific circumstances surrounding the departures. Reports indicate that dozens of Justice Department employees, including a significant number who worked on high-profile investigations related to President Donald Trump, such as the classified documents case and the January 6th Capitol attack prosecutions, have been terminated. Among those reportedly fired are career prosecutors, paralegals, and support staff. These firings have been attributed to a new weaponization working group established by the current Attorney General, Pam Bondi. This group's stated purpose is to review law enforcement policies from the previous administration, with a particular focus on investigations involving the former president and the January 6th prosecutions. Critics argue that these actions represent a purge aimed at punishing officials perceived as disloyal to the current administration and undermining the department's independence. The firings have sparked alarm among legal experts and former Justice Department officials who warn of potential damage to the department's morale, expertise, and its ability to administer justice impartially. Some former employees have publicly voiced concerns about a wave of retribution and a disregard for established norms within the agency. This situation evokes memories of past controversies surrounding the dismissal of U.S. attorneys, such as during the George W. Bush administration, and raises fundamental questions about the politicization of federal law enforcement. The significant firings and departures within the U.S. Justice Department stem primarily from the new administration's stated intent to de-weaponize the department and its focus on loyalty to the president's agenda. Here are the key reasons. Weaponization Working Group. Attorney General Pam Bondi, upon her appointment, established a Weaponization Working Group. This group's stated purpose is to review law enforcement policies and actions from the previous administration, with a particular focus on investigations and prosecutions related to President Donald Trump, including the classified documents case and those initiated by Special Counsel Jack Smith. Prosecutions related to the January 6th Capitol attack, alleged improper investigative tactics and unethical prosecutions believed to have targeted conservatives. Essentially, the administration believes the Justice Department was unfairly used for political purposes against their side in the previous administration and seeks to rectify this. Perceived lack of loyalty. Many of the fired or departing individuals are career prosecutors and staff who were involved in cases that drew the ire of the current administration or the former president. This includes those who worked on the January 6th cases and those connected to investigations into Donald Trump. The administration seems to view these individuals as insufficiently loyal or aligned with their new policy direction. For example, some prosecutors were reportedly fired for refusing to drop charges in certain high-profile cases. Political purge retribution. Critics, including former Justice Department officials and legal experts, describe these actions as a purge, or wave of retribution. They argue that the firings are aimed at punishing officials for their past work and installing individuals more amenable to the current administration's political agenda, thereby undermining the department's traditional independence and nonpartisanship. Ideological alignment. The changes also reflect a broader effort to realign the Justice Department with the president's priorities, which includes stricter stances on issues like immigration enforcement, a focus on law and order, and potentially less emphasis on certain civil rights initiatives. Some departures, like the ethics director, suggest an intent to remove officials who might challenge these new directives on ethical grounds. The recent firings and departures within the U.S. Justice Department under Attorney General Pam Bondi are having several severe consequences, particularly concerning the department's integrity, morale, and operational effectiveness, undermining the Justice Department's independence. The most significant consequence is the perceived politicization of the Justice Department. By targeting individuals involved in investigations related to the former president and the January 6th Capitol attack, the administration is seen by critics as attempting to bend the department's impartiality to its political will. This erodes the long-standing principle that the DOJ should operate free from political interference, prosecuting cases based on evidence and law, not political allegiance. Loss of expertise and morale. The mass exodus, which includes experienced career prosecutors, paralegals, and support staff, leads to a substantial loss of institutional knowledge and expertise. These are individuals with years of experience in complex federal investigations and prosecutions. Their departure can disrupt ongoing cases, slow down future investigations, and diminish the overall effectiveness of the department. Furthermore, the environment of firings and distrust is likely to have a devastating impact on the morale of remaining career professionals, potentially leading to further voluntary departures and making it harder to attract top talent in the future. Disruption of high-profile investigations and prosecutions. Specifically, investigations related to Donald Trump's classified documents case and the January 6th prosecutions are directly impacted. Many of the fired individuals were central to these cases. This disruption could lead to delays, potential mishandling of evidence, or even the dropping of charges in some instances, raising concerns about accountability and the pursuit of justice for serious federal crimes. The recent firing of the DOJ's top ethics lawyer, Joseph Terrell, also raises questions about ethical oversight within the department. Erosion of public trust. When the Justice Department is perceived as being driven by political motives rather than the rule of law, it can erode public trust in the entire federal justice system. This can lead to a belief that justice is applied selectively, depending on political affiliation, which undermines the very foundation of a fair and impartial legal system. Addressing the current upheaval within the U.S. Justice Department requires a multifaceted approach focused on restoring independence, rebuilding morale, and preserving institutional expertise. Restoring independence. The primary solution involves a commitment from the Attorney General to uphold the DOJ's independence from political pressure. This means halting politically motivated firings, immediately ceasing the dismissal of career professionals based on perceived disloyalty or involvement in politically sensitive cases. Reaffirming ethical guidelines, strictly enforcing and potentially strengthening internal ethical guidelines to prevent political interference in investigations and prosecutions. This could involve codifying stronger limits on communications with the White House on ongoing cases. Transparent decision-making. Ensuring that prosecutorial decisions are clearly based on facts and law with transparent justifications where appropriate to counter accusations of political bias. Rebuilding morale and expertise. Public support for career staff. The Attorney General and senior leadership must publicly express support for the professionalism and integrity of career staff. This helps counter the narrative that these individuals are disloyal or incompetent. Addressing concerns internally. Establishing clear internal channels for employees to voice concerns about political pressure without fear of retaliation. This could involve strengthening the role of the Inspector General's office. Retention and recruitment initiatives. Implementing strategies to retain experienced professionals, such as offering competitive compensation and fostering a respectful work environment. Aggressive recruitment efforts will be needed to attract new talent and rebuild lost expertise. This might involve emphasizing the department's commitment to the rule of law and public service. Future predictions. Continued resistance. Expect continued resistance from career staff and public criticism if the perceived politicization of the DOJ persists. Whistleblowers may come forward and further resignations could occur. Legal challenges. Depending on the specific actions taken, Legal challenges by affected employees or watchdog groups against the Justice Department are possible, arguing wrongful termination or violations of civil service protections. Electoral impact. The issue of Justice Department independence could become a significant talking point in future elections, with candidates promising to restore its nonpartisan role. Slow rebuilding process. Even if future administrations commit to restoring the DOJ's independence, rebuilding trust and expertise will be a slow and arduous process. The damage to institutional norms and morale is not easily reversed. End of reading.